Hey guys, this is Random Stuff with Alex Hughes. I believe today is day 28 of the self transformation journey. Um, at least I think it's day 28, could be day 29. I've kind of lost track of days over the last month. But yeah, so today I woke up. I had a great sleep last night. I think it was just really motivated by some of the, you know, kind of revelations that I just had the night before. And yeah, I got up around, actually a little bit earlier than usual, and then I did my meditation. I did my cold shower, and like I said, I still wake up definitely after a cold shower. There's no doubt about that. And then I had my breakfast, which was I had a bit of smoothie on the side, and then I had so I had a smoothie on the side, and then I had oh yeah, two pieces of bread with some sunflower butter, and that was great, along with some seeds, or maybe it wasn't seeds, it was mostly nuts, a lot of nuts, very filling. And then I ended up, so I had that to eat, and then I ended up taking my vitamins, and then I ended up going on a walk down Hutchison, and I was trying to go on this like small road, like a lane, and according to Google Maps, it was all the way through, but when I went on it, it was like a dirt road, and it didn't go all the way through. It was like a private road, so I couldn't really walk any farther, to be honest. And then I ended up instead I just went along Osborne, and then I got back home. It was about a little bit longer walk than usual, but yeah, I did my qigong. There's this routine that I do that's like super relaxing, and so I got so connected in that qigong routine. And then I did my course sancti 18-minute meditation. Excuse me. And then I ended up I did that, and I also I did that, and I started with my day today. I was definitely deleting some SoundCloud songs. So, I was listening to a lot of stuff on SoundCloud a couple years ago. And then just like I went back, because I've been cleaning out a lot of my music that's been kind of, I guess, inappropriate and kind of negative, low vibrational energy. And I realized that I was like, wow, I was listening to the lyrics of some of these songs, and I was like, they're either about selling drugs, doing drugs, like Molly, lean, and marijuana, and there was also a lot of songs about women, and not very positive about women, and just overall the vibrational energy was very low. It wasn't like, oh, this is so upbeat and uplifting. It was like, wow, I just can't believe I listened to that. I think I understand why I listened to that, because I was like, wow, I like the instrumentals, I like the sound, it's very relaxing, but the reality is that stuff is going to my brain. So if I'm singing along to it, then I'm like taking in that information. A lot of that information isn't very positive, and so yeah, I didn't mind letting it go because it wasn't really that big of a deal. The music anyways. So I listened to the music, and it was great. Or it was great to just kind of clean that out. And I ended up I was watching some videos about the law of attraction, or no, it was about the universe, because a few, actually, maybe the last 4 years or so, I've been kind of had the idea of the universe. The power. There's definitely something out there that I can't explain, that I've discovered over the last few years or so, that's like super powerful. So this energy out there, what I believe to be the universe, and I believe the law of attraction. I believe that there is this channel called Your Universe, and that's something that I've been subscribed to for a while now, and I did watch some of the videos over recently, actually. But I definitely want to apply some of those principles of the law of attraction, and the principles of not only the law of attraction per se, but just manifestation, to be able to manifest the life that I want, rather than kind of focus on all this other stuff, but be able to, use affirmations, about confidence, affirmations about, where I want to go, affirmations regarding, being level headed and successful, and whatnot. And I've definitely noticed that confidence has definitely improved, and also mindfulness and the ability to control my thoughts, and just believing that I'll be successful. That was actually before this journey. I've been focusing so much in my head about success, and trying to, like, oh, I'm gonna have a nice house and nice car, and I'll be able to buy, I guess, materialistic, ideas. But yeah, I mean that's what I've been doing with the law of attraction. And then I ended up also I had my lunch, which was one of the leftover hot dogs, and that actually makes L-arginine. It doesn't taste as bad. And then I had a smoothie to the side. I still feel pretty full. I just need to drink a lot of water because I didn't take a bottle of water with me. And I went out to Encinitas and I did some basketball. I went to the gym and dehydrated definitely. So I just drank 2 full bottles of water, which is like over close to 30 milliliters of water. And yeah, so that's what I ended up doing. So I ended up I left around 11 o'clock, and I started reading the modern mindfulness. So the idea is that in today's world where it's filled with technology, we can still maintain our sense of awareness when we use the technology, and we can use the technology as a way to support our mindful practice. I actually agree in a lot of ways, but what I noticed though, is to always be kind of aware of not to always just like take everything for fact, right? Like everything this author says is completely true, So I had some skepticism, but I realized the author is an app creator. He has his own app, and so that's why he has some of his own beliefs about technology. And he also lives in, I think, San Francisco near the Silicon Valley. So it's like, of course, he's going to support certain ideas about technology, and so that's where he comes from. So to be able to understand that, it allows you to take in information a lot, just be more skeptical, be a critical thinker, because it's easy to take everything for fact. That's why I've become a lot more skeptical of the news. I mean, my goodness, that's one of my post-it notes, is just to be, because over the last couple of months, the stress coming from the news is just heightened. I mean, it's always been like that, and that's why, a couple months ago when I was at Miracosta, when I saw the news, I knew it was just another one of their tricks. I think when you live with, the mind like that I have, which is always like firing alarm bells, warning, warning, you kind of recognize the pattern of just fear, and that's what fear loves to do. That it loves to, it wants you to pay attention to it. Like the news always wants you to pay attention to it, so that way they can gain, the advertising dollars and the viewers and whatnot. That's the important thing, is that you have to capture the audience through emotions, especially emotions, fear, mostly fear for the news anyways. So for me, I've grown so aware of that, of what the news is doing, that I'm like, I don't even want to watch it anymore. I don't want to watch the news. It's just more stress on my part, and I'd rather not, pay any attention to it. Whatever they talk about is not really relevant to my life, to be honest. In my life, it's not very relevant. Whatever is going on, the wars and usually if there's a robbery or something, the convenience store got robbed, there's a water main break, there's a car accident. It's like, to be honest, that stuff happens so often that it's like, for me, I don't drive a car, so I'm not going to worry about it. Water main break, I don't drive a car. There's a robbery. They didn't rob my house, so I mean, I'm not going to worry about it so much. Or like, they talk about the Tijuana River Valley pollution, at least in San Diego. And so the list goes on and on, the same stories. It's just they try to scare you so that way you pay attention, and you just stay hooked. You're like, oh my goodness, there's so much bad stuff going. Yeah, they love to do that. The negativity, they heighten the negativity, but the reality is, it's like Groundhog Day. I kid you not. I remember, being in that same mode where it's like, the reality of the situation is that life isn't as crazy as they make it out to believe in the media. And I grew up, like I said, watching TV for hours and hours. That's what I was programmed. I was watching TV the whole day, or most of the day actually. I was, playing video games, PC games the whole day. So I didn't necessarily see what was going on, to be honest. I just saw what was on the TV. And like reality shows aren't always what they seem to be. Even competition shows, that's why they have the fine print. So That's why, it's great to not watch TV, like that digital detox. Like, I don't think I need to watch TV anymore, you know. I was watching Shark Tank, and I was really trying to find a way to incorporate TV into my life rather than the other way around. And so I just think that exercise is a lot more important. But other than that, I went to the gym. A little bit quieter today, but I did weights 8 to 10 pounds. I think the break definitely took its toll in the sense that I felt a little bit more tired than usual, because I was focusing on the kettlebells. The awesome thing is that I just put the Vicks, or the knockoff Vicks, on my back and did some stretches, and I feel a lot better. Um, and then I ended up also, after Vicks, I just noticed my back isn't as sore, so it went away after a couple days. I took a break, and boom, my back's back to normal for the most part. I was listening to Young High Flyers. He's got a lot of energy. And then I took the Sprinter over to Oceanside Transit, and I took the 101. And I was reading the book out to Encinitas, and then I ended up going to the Soulscape just to find a book about like the universe and the law of attraction. To be honest, they didn't really have it, and I was surprised because that type of store is very spiritual, and so I was hoping that they would have something. They had a really cheap book section, used books for $2. So I was taking a look at that. I was looking around the store. It's a lot of crystals, incense. I mean, for me, I've been focusing a lot on essential oils, but their selection's quite pricey. I bought mine at CVS, and the price was a lot cheaper. Um, or I think I'm not. I was thinking about the price, like whether or not I actually saw the price, but I don't think the bottles are as big, and of course they're organic, so the price is going to be a bit higher. A lot of crystals, which I haven't really gotten into and haven't necessarily believed. Dreams, and of course the other stuff there. So I didn't really buy anything. The books, I think I might just go to a used bookstore. There's one, Book Tales in Encinitas, and there's Fahrenheit 451 books. There's actually a couple of used bookstores that I'll probably check out for maybe books about spirituality and in the universe, the powers of the universe. Or maybe I'll just go to Barnes and Nobles and just buy, the secret. I gotta find out the secret, because I've actually been trying to figure that out. The secret for I've heard of that book for the last couple of years or so. I just haven't gone around to reading it. But so I ended up walking back over to the basketball court, and I shot some hoops, but I had to take a break because I was feeling pretty dehydrated, so I didn't have that energy. I was actually listening to Albert On. He's that Korean vlogger, and very, very big with NoFap. His channel's still active too. After all these years, he's still active, and it's great to see him do that do that type of work still. So Albert On, that's his channel that I took a look at. And then I ended up also, after Albert On, I took some breaks, and then I ended up catching the bus back up. And then I basically was reading in the park, did some meditation. My mind was a lot clearer today. I think I'm building a lot more resilience, which is great, because what happens is the more you practice mindful awareness, the more you're in control of your thoughts and your emotions. And it's very powerful. I kid you not. There were some things that, like I said, I was obsessed about. Literally, like the thought would come up every single day, and it's an obsession. And that's the way I grew up. I had a lot of anxiety as a kid. All sorts of different things, social anxiety, afraid of a lot of future stuff, afraid of what's going to happen in the future. Am I going to embarrass myself? And not being able to communicate effectively with other students, not being able to go out and have those interactions, being obsessed with films, and so my mind's all sorts of like I guess messed up. But this mindful awareness is powerful because it allows you to have the ability to pick and choose which thoughts you want. So you have a thought that comes up in your brain, and you can decide what you want to do with that thought. Do you want to pursue the thought? argue with a thought, answer all its questions. It doesn't matter how many times you answer the questions. I kid you not, guys. Don't chase after those thoughts if you know they're BS. Because what's going to happen is it's going to chase, it's going to run, it's going to be like, oh, this and this and this and this. And you have to nip that in the bud. You have to say, I'm not going to engage in that thought anymore. I'm not going to, continue to just focus on that thought, because it takes a lot of energy out. It's BS. It's connected to the obsession, or for example, the fear. You just have to be mindful in this present moment. So whenever that thought tries to take you on some sort of ridiculous, chase, you have to ground yourself and be like, I'm not going to engage in that thought anymore. And the more you do that, guys, the more you retrain your focus and you just stay focused on this present moment, then what happens is you can move forward with your life. So eventually that thought doesn't bother you anymore because you're staying focused and grounded. And so that's what I noticed. Like this morning, I noticed myself kind of straying aside, but I just kept bringing it back. Because I know I know the cycle. I know exactly, guys, I know exactly what's going to do. I know the pattern. Once you know the pattern, guys, then you can make real change. You can be like, you know what? I'm not going to engage in that thought. I'm going to stay focused. I'm going to stay grounded. I'm going to stay focused in the present moment. Because if you guys realize the present moment, if you focus on the present moment, then things seem a lot easier. Because you make decisions as they come, and you're not so obsessed about the future. You're not so obsessed about, oh, I got to do this and this and this. If you just stay focused here and now, and you focus on your priorities, you're not so caught up in every single thing you have to do. Like if you have a guideline of what you want to go and where you want to go to and what you want to manifest, that is powerful. And so it doesn't matter what happens to you, you can focus on the present moment. And that's all that matters, guys. Not arguing with a bunch of garbage thoughts that you've had for the last, that keep coming up back and forth. Like for example, something normal, I guess, would be like you see. You get irritated by people who drive, right? You're a pedestrian, somebody tries to cut you off, as you're walking across the street, you get angry, and then why worry about it? Who cares? You just stay focused on the present moment, and you realize, why should I react to that? It doesn't really matter. And so you make the choice not to react, and then you don't feel anything. You don't do anything, and then it doesn't affect you anymore. You go out and let's say you go into a bathroom stall, right? In the public bathroom, you're like, this is disgusting. And you keep doing that. You keep getting irritated by things, people that do things, noises, the baby crying on the bus. You're like, why is that baby still crying? And you get irritated because you're trying to focus on what you're doing. Maybe the homeless person is acting out of normal. You see this stuff when you're in public. Somebody cuts you off, you're walking, or maybe somebody's riding a bicycle on the sidewalk even though they're not supposed to. Maybe I don't know, somebody steals something of yours, right? Why be bothered by it? Why let that bother you? Because you're always in control of every single moment. You pick and choose how you want to react to your reality. It's your reality, guys. So you have to make the choice about, what kind of world do I want to manifest? And so if you guys know your mind, guys. The stuff that keeps coming up, just stay the course, stay mindful, and then you'll be surprised at how many things are clearer to you. Just be mindful. And so, like I said, I was watching videos about the universe will test you. And so there'll be thoughts, there's no doubt, there'll be thoughts of all these things, and all these situations that happen in your life, but you have to stay focused on what you want. And then eventually there won't be any more tests. It's kind of like with the NoFap journey, right? You guys want to stop the cycle. And there are triggers out there, right? There are the videos, there are the pop-ups, advertising, even some of the stuff in the mainstream media. But if you stay focused on your goal and what you want to achieve, then that becomes your reality. That becomes your reality, guys. And so that's why I'm trying to focus on this, because the law of attraction is powerful. You just got to stay focused on this present moment and what you're doing. And eventually, all you have to do is just cast away the thoughts. Cast away the thoughts. So if it tries to bother you, you're in your head and all this stuff. You're doing meditation, right? And all this stuff about, oh man, I gotta go shopping today. I got to work on this thing on my to-do list. I gotta clean this up and all this stuff. But if you just focus and breathe, and everything will manifest as you want it. And that's super powerful. I gotta learn more, rather than just constantly argue with my thoughts. Because if I know who I am and where I want to go, then I don't need to argue with my thoughts. Just let it go. So yeah, that's a really cool thing that I was trying to cultivate today, and I'm staying focused. Just trying to stay focused. I know that I can achieve this goal. I know that I can do that. I just have to keep the affirmations going, and I have to just let go of those thoughts. Just let them go. Let them go. And it's powerful, what you do. But it's like when you build up a habit over the course of your entire life, right? Obsessing about these thoughts that don't matter, because the seed gets planted, and once you react to that, it becomes fear. That's all it becomes, guys. Fear. And you have to decide, like, how you want to react to it. How you want to react to that image of the future, like, oh my god, my future is going to be so, all this negative stuff. But if you see it in a positive light, your future, and that's even better. But so yeah, guys, this today was great. I did some exercise, did Planet Fitness. I'm seeing gains at the gym, a lot more exercise, a lot more physique. And what I will say, yeah, is today I was trying to stay focused, especially Encinitas. You guys know, if you're here in the local area, summer Encinitas, you gotta stay focused, stay confident. Because a lot of times you can get socially anxious around all these people, especially the women. So you just got to stay focused and just stay confident, not be afraid of them. And so yeah, I think today was great. I got to make sure to wind down. It's already 7:45, so I want to make sure to get the wind down going and then go to sleep. I know I'm gonna get some great sleep tonight. I'm very positive. That's the most important thing, is just to stay positive. And I'll see you guys tomorrow.